So now we're on to a bit of a lo-fi hip-hop track. And so I've had Logan kind of set up a kit. As you can see, it's very non-traditional, very inspirational. So I'm kind of putting myself in a reactionary mode to what he's set up. So if you talk to us a little bit about what's going on here and why you've set it up for this type of approach, and then I'll talk about how I'm initially miking you up.
Cool, okay. Well, I really love hip hop music, and I think we both really love hip hop, and also love James Brown and sort of like old school breakbeat stuff. I feel like it can be really difficult to find like drum kit sounds that emulate those really crisp like samples that you hear in old school hip hop. So all of this kind of came out of trying to build like a drum machine, but in real life that you can play with sticks. And so, you know, I got congas set up here with towels on them to kind of dampen them a little bit. The kick drum is obviously kind of I'd say like the most foundational element of this setup.
Is there anything inside that?
Just the padding that's in the suitcase
so
already.
Just sort of stock as you'd buy it.
Yeah, it's stock, okay. But then I actually built a wooden platform and then like wrapped this cable around it to keep it from wobbling. And then I've got a panderu here, used in a very non-traditional way. I've taped up all the jingles, and that winds up giving it kind of like an 808 kick drum sound.
So the way I'm approaching this miking wise, before I actually go and get the sounds, I'm using the ST1 here in this position as my primary drum sound. I've got it in close. It's going to get a lot of the tone of the kick drum. It's going to get the pandero, the snare drum. It'll pick up everything. My hope is to build a complete sound off this one microphone, and then I'm going to supplement it here with the SD5, try the sub speaker emulation there, sort of capture the low end that I can add in and fill out this single microphone if that works. The SD1 over here to catch the congas. I've decided to move the SD7 over to the snare drum because I know that I can use the 441 emulation there, and it's a hypercardioid, so it's got a narrower listening pattern. It's a little bit more like a flashlight. So that will allow me to get the mic back off the drum a little bit. It's a very shallow drum because I want to pick up the shell and a little bit of the bottom of the snares, and so that's the thinking there. I've moved the SD3 over to the hi-hat tambourines because I want to use something like a 57, like a mid-rangey dynamic mic, because I want to keep the hip-hop sound kind of lo-fi, close and cool. There's no room mics, there's no real overheads. The cymbals should translate, and we really just kind of want a dry, not necessarily dry, but
it's
kind
like
of
present,
close, tough sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to start, and we'll just see how it all plays out. Well, Logan, I think I'm prepared to pick some microphones, and you can start playing. Would you play the congas up a little bit for me? And then if you go to the hi-hat for me. Great, man. And then the snare drum, please. Okay, great. I feel like I've got my gains and some initial choices on the microphones. It'll take understanding how it fits in with the track. Killer, man. I need the Dawsons to talk about this, and I'll get Sam as well. Go to the SC1, that's the main sound.
Yep.
I've been flipping around different models. So let's go to those. I think 47, the 251, and the 103, and the 414
Gotcha.
are the ones that I kind of was deciding between. I would like you guys to listen to them all, but
Yeah. Starting on the 251.
All very different.
Yeah.
you want to track the other ones you haven't tried?
Yeah, try like the 67 and stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the 67, 87, and the 12.
Yep.
LD12. Any thoughts there?
I kind of like the sound of the 87 and the 47.
Yeah, I thought 87 sounded really cool to me, but
The 47 makes the piano feel very unflattering.
I didn't hear that.
Do you have any thoughts on?
I mean, I like the 47 and the 251, I think, the most.
Okay.
I didn't hear that piano thing you were talking about, so maybe it's worth
Okay.
listening to that again.
Do you have a question?
I don't know nearly as much as y'all about any of this stuff, but what I heard, I liked how I did like some of the overblown, sort of distorted sounds that we got when we used the 103. Like it made the snare sound really like huge.
Okay.
And then the 251, which is I guess the one we started with, that seems like the most balanced sort of like down the middle
Okay.
kind of choice.
Let's shoot out the 47, the 251, the 87, and the 103. Cool. No one mentioned the 414, right?
right.
Yeah, okay, so those four. Let's shoot those out. surprised thoughts?
Listening back, I think the 103 is cooler sounding than I originally thought. I think that it sounds cool. It kind of makes the snare a little bit more thwacky, and you can hear the hat a little bit more.
I understand what you're feeling. I feel the same. The 251, it's a good holistic sound, I think, like you said, Sam, but it verges on too bright in the hi-hats, you know? I feel like we kind of get the same low-mid detail with the 103 without that brightness. The 47 could be compelling, but it does that thing to the piano, and I feel like I'd have to move the mic if that were to be the choice. You're between the 47 and the 251?
Right.
Has your opinion changed?
I think I'm leaning towards the 47 now.
Okay.
I feel like the 103 it does a cool thing to like the hi-hat, but overall I think it makes the drums a little too bright for the rest of the track.
Okay. Do you have a thought?
I don't want to throw a wrench into the equation, but I'm still feeling the 87 just from prior listening, just because I agree the 251, like the high end feels a little overblown, but I still kind of feel that with the 103 a little bit.
So we can pretty much all agree we want to leave the 251 behind. Okay, so let's consider the 103, 67, and 47. I mean, if we do the 47, which I do like the toughness it has, I would just move the mic. So let's shoot those three out.
So starting at 103. I changed my mind.
I think the 87 we can leave behind.
Yep, yeah, I agree.
Between the 103 and the 47, how many votes for the 47?
That last time I felt more towards the 47.
And then 103?
Yeah, but I mean,
I have to move the mic to make it right.
Yeah, it's like I do think that if we're going for lo-fi, like the 47 is definitely darker.
Right.
So, and that's kind of like, you know.
Okay, well then, are you on board with the 47?
Yes, I'm on board.
To get the mid-rangey part that's hurting the piano to me, I think I can just move the mic and address that.
Cool. All right, ready, Logan?
That feels like a unified sound now.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm in.
Yeah. Could we listen to the 103? Just.
I mean, yeah, now that 103 doesn't even seem like it's a contender.
No.
Yeah, right.
That's how much moving a microphone means. Feels great.
Yeah, I like the snare.
Oh, baby.
Fantastic. We've captured our drum sound on this. And I just wanted to come out here and talk about a couple of mics that I moved and how important that is. The biggest change was when we were trying to decide on what emulation this modeling mic should be, SC1. We liked the 47, but it had a little bit too much mid-range, and the kick drum didn't really feel like as full body. So originally the microphone was kind of over here, the diaphragm was just here, so really just a couple inches from where it is now. When I first came out, I moved it over here, and it changed the sound dramatically. I lost the excitement and closeness to the snare. The reason that I was pulling it back from here, it was a little bit too far over the kick drum, and I wasn't getting this tone enough, and that's why it was feeling a little disconnected. So when I came back and moved it, I moved it in between. So it's like I moved it this much to begin with, and it kind of ended up being that much of a move. And literally a quarter of an inch, half an inch can be enough. And then the other thing that I did was I moved this up because the hi-hat were being captured fine, but if this was where the level of the tambourines were, I had the diaphragm of the mic just like right here, because I was purposely trying to get a focus on the hi-hat and get a little bit of the tambourine, but it was a little bit too dark, so I just moved it up so I could catch a little bit more of the brightness of the tambourine. And I think we captured a really cool drum kit. So we got one final overdub on this song. It's bass. I love 47 on a bass cabinet, so right there, sounds great already. So we're gonna optimize our level and start cutting this track. DG?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, so we're all set in here. Let's lay it down, brother.
Let's do it.
Here it comes.
It's a mean part, DG.
It is.
Thanks. Took a lot of work.
Well, that wraps us on this song. To be continued. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. We had 7 microphones that we had 20 plus choices that we worked through. I thought it was very successful, very fun and efficient. How did you feel about how it translated in the headphones?
Well, it was really cool because we had so many different kits, and just being able to capture all of them like truly to what we had them sounding like in the room, and getting a lot of different color options. I mean, it just felt nice playing the drums.
Felt like you?
Yeah, felt like me.
That's fabulous. Good, man. Dawson, you have any thoughts for us?
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, Logan killed it on the drums, and you know, it was really interesting to hear the difference on just, you know, you have one microphone, you change the emulation, and you hear the difference. But where I really noticed a crazy difference was on a microphone we weren't even really using, like it was the floor tom mic in the jazz tune. You were barely even playing the floor tom, but changing that microphone felt like it made the biggest difference. So it's like, it's not even just about the direct mics, it's about the picture as a whole, and it just
How it brought it together.
how it brought it all together. It was awesome to hear.
Fabulous. Sam, what do you think?
I think, yeah, something that I noticed that was really cool is we had our trash mic for the Mustard Jam song. And, you know, it was right up against the wall, but we wanted something a little more distant than we could physically achieve in our space. So rather than knocking down a wall, you could just turn the proximity away and it achieves the same effect, which is super nifty.
I think I did play with the proximity the most on the low frequency mics, because just small movements kind of make a big difference in the way that stuff accumulates. A couple times I used that as a tool to figure out where I might want to move the mic. In that case, like you pointed out, it couldn't really move it back much further, so just kind of left that in place. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
DG?
Yeah,
In closing, sir, what do you...
Yeah, well, I've definitely been thoroughly impressed by these microphones. You know, being in the control room and just being able to, you know, set up a microphone, but us all have a conversation about which one we think feels the best. It feels really, really nice to be able to do like as a group, because in that in the lo-fi song, the Count de Ville song, we were all very diversified on what microphone we thought that we should choose. And, you know, being able to just click through microphone after microphone after microphone and just A/B, go back and forth, and just like we could really have a serious conversation and like pick our brains on why we would choose that type of microphone, and also do it extremely fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And we ended up choosing the 47 Once we had that conversation and arrived at that decision, I was able to then, I knew that, okay, I need to move the mic. And so with just a little bit of experimentation and kind of like, we went with a choice that had a little bit of collateral effect on the landscape of the other Sonics, especially the piano in my opinion. But because we made a group decision to do that, I was able to kind of go out there and find the right place for that mic and brought it all together in a way that you're not able normally to do. And I'm totally blown away and so satisfied by the result that we've gotten. I appreciate everybody being here and doing this with us.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.